Hey, I haven't put a video up in a little while, but let's see if you can see the car here. It got a bath last week. Weather hasn't been good in the last few days, but then I haven't been driving anywhere either. Haven't had the money to go anywhere. Just a couple of people gonna have an accident on the corner. Somebody driving too fast, more than likely. Anyway, as far as my YouTube page goes, I think I want to try and maybe become a doing blogs on the Suburban and improvements and anything. If there's repairs I need to do, or any kind of repairs kind of deals, or additions and modifications or whatnot, just kind of put those on there and video it, just in case. There are plenty of things out there that people have put online, and it just there are some things that aren't posted on there as far as videos go, and I just maybe even get to the point where if I get enough people subscribed, I can start having little giveaways and stuff, and maybe little kind of raffles or contests, or I don't know. We'll have to figure out what that is, but just get the Suburban fixed up and get it operating properly. It's got 230,000 miles on it. Most people say, why even spend the money on it? Well, it's a Suburban, and it's a vehicle that, in a way, it's in demand, and then there's people that can't afford to actually go out and just buy a new one, especially if they're in the $40,000 to $60,000 range. So, and then actually, I'm in this other church parking lot. They had the driveways blocked off. I had to come in the main entrance to get over here. I probably shouldn't even be out here doing this, but anyway, I want to do stuff like that, clean it up a little bit more, get it painted, maybe do some wrapping of certain things. I got a couple places I can get wraps and get the thing wrapped and change the color around. I don't know. Do things like that. Change the grill and lights out, and update everybody on what lights I have changed out. I probably do a video of putting a new front headlight wiring harness in it and figuring out why the driving lights don't actually work. Somebody's changed that at one point, but I've just kind of been fighting off some depression and a little bit of grief mixed in there, and I seen my wife's heart surgeon today when I was getting my port flush, and I didn't get past shaking hands with him, and everything for the last year and a half just started to surface again. And then one thing led to another, and I started thinking about earlier this week, since last week's Seahawk game, the media posted a picture showing to what looked like at least 60% of the team sitting on the bench during the national anthem. I think playing for the NFL is kind of like an opportunity that not everybody gets, and the money you're making, that's your job, and you don't bring your protests and your opinions and stuff about some of your political or whatever. I don't even get into that stuff, because regardless, bottom line, this is your country, and you live here, and if you don't like it, get out. This is the way it is. You got the best thing going in the world for you right now, especially being in the NFL, making all kinds of money like you do. Even the minimum wage and whatever that is in the NFL is more than I make in a year, or 3 or 4 years by that matter. So you guys consider yourself lucky on that part, and I don't know. I'm complaining about all kinds of things. Some of you know I follow Dutch Sense. He's a earthquake forecaster and brings us up to date daily on earthquakes that have happened around the world. And lately, YouTube's decided to start censoring him. Well, they've been censoring him for a long time, but then all of a sudden today I go to see if there's any new updates, and a whole, 20 days worth of videos has just disappeared off of his website altogether. So I don't know what they're up to. I don't see how him being the one single isolated name YouTuber that's been labeled as fake news, what about all these NASA videos and people posting stuff about UFOs and stuff? I mean, there's a possibility there's life from other planets around here and stuff like that. So I don't see how they can be censoring him for what he's doing when it actually comes down to the bottom line. He's saving people's lives because they're more prepared and they know something's coming, rather than being surprised by it and having a tree fall on their head or something, or their house falling down around them. So I got a bunch of stuff on my mind, but it's I don't know, it's just water under the bridge. People think I'm just full of crap, and shut up and go back to your room. So that's what I'm going to do, because I don't have any money to go anywhere. I'm doing the old Social Security and Medicare thing, and that's fun. I had to cut back on my medical appointments because the co-pays were going to take away from any kind of gas money or food money I have to get through the rest of the month. So that's a problem. I've got just a medical update. I got a colonoscopy and a CT scan coming up in January. It'll be my 2-year from chemo mark already, which the day after surgery, you never think this day's going to be here, but it's here. And I have to do this every 3 months to once a year for the next 3 more years anyway, before they'll even consider taking the port out, unless I completely give up altogether and say screw it. And I can't go to work full time for anybody because I'm on oxycodone, and I have had the cancer and everything. I don't have the energy to work more than 2 or 3 hours, or for that matter, even do a Monday through Friday job. I got my job at my funeral home, and I'm finding it difficult to even get over there and do anything. So the weather, the way it is right now, cuts back on some things. And then when it is nice, I'm not over there doing anything because I've got a doctor's appointment to go to. Anyway, just venting a little bit, but let me know what you think. Should I do vlogs on the repair and maintenance and modifications of take suggestions and everything for any modifications on it? It's an 02 Suburban. It covers, I think, body style probably 01 to 06, with a little difference in the back end doors. But for the most part, engine and everything, all that's chassis, 2002 to 2006. Everything will pretty much apply the same throughout, depending on the options. And I could do a video on replacing the rear bumper if I can ever find one cheap enough to get. But then we'll get my Patreon account up and running on YouTube. I don't know YouTube. What they did to Dutch is just kind of, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, morning, daylight, whatever time it is for you. And good Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. And in my case, I'm just going to be staying home alone, doing whatever. And got people in a line at the traffic light watching me film my video. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.